Bitter criticism. This is a special show, special episode. This is an episode on the bus. I don't know how to say, on bus maybe. Yeah. So we are recording this episode on the street, and sometimes people will look at me because I'm speaking English. But I don't care. Yeah, I'm a nihilistic. I'm a nihilist. People say, "Oh, you're crazy. Why you do that?" We have May 24. Today's May 24, I guess. And we have breaking news. Israel Mossad downed Iran president's helicopter. This is from Pepe Escobar Telegram. Here we are in this is fifth sector in Playa Ancha, and this is just I forgot now, Federico Santa Maria Avenue, I guess, yeah, I'm pretty sure about it. Breaking news: Israel's Mossad downed Iranian president's helicopter. Well-informed Israeli security source confirms it targeted Raisi. This was from Richard Silverstein from May 22, 2 days ago. So nobody knows what happened. Pepe Escobar just published something about this on his channel, Pepe Cafe. But right now I didn't listen yet. I guess nobody knows what happened by this time. We have a photograph from President Raisi just before helicopter crash. He has some photographer like this guy from Lula, I don't remember, Stucker. Well, they recovered the camera of the Raisi guy, Raisi. President Raisi just before helicopter crash. Hezbollah affiliated journalist Elijah Magnier has raised the possibility that Israel may have caused the crash, which took the life of President Ibrahim Raisi. Who knows? The foreign minister and other high-level officials did this is another article, I guess. Did the Iranian president's helicopter crash or get shot down? What says the black box? Do helicopters have a black box? They can know about shots. He did not make a definitive statement on the cause, but for a journalist closely allied with Iran to speculate that Israel may have caused it. Yeah, keep recording. Yeah, the graffiti is perfect. Well, and it goes like this. Well, the bus driver just said that he hadn't more money because sometimes, a lot of times, there's problems with, I mean, relationship problems with the system is not perfect. Everybody is angry about money in Chile. But anyway, so did the Iranian president's helicopter crash or get shot or shot down? He did not make a definitive statement on the cause, but for a journalist closely allied with Iran to speculate that Israel may have caused the crash. It is a clear indication that Iran is taking this possibility seriously. So there's nothing happening. Magnier's article did pique my interest, and I pursued the question with an Israeli security source. He confirmed that Israel was responsible. I guess I'm gonna record it. I'm gonna do like this. Oh, it looks like a fire over there. Anyway, Magnier's article did pique. I don't know what's this word. Look, it says pique, P-I-Q, right here. Pique, P-I-Q-U-E, my interest, and I pursued the question with an Israeli security source. He confirmed that Israel was responsible. He used a phrase that duplicates almost word for word Israeli comments on previous assassinations. Any head of state ordering an attack on Israel signs his own death sentence. This may refers to the massive Iranian missile drone attack on Israel several weeks ago. Though Raisi probably played a secondary, if any, role in that, since Ayatollah Khamenei will approve such a sensitive operation. I didn't get them. The last paragraph, the last statement says like Israeli comments on previous assassinations. Any head of state ordering an attack on Israel signs his own death sentence. Yeah, so probably Israel did it. Who say this? Israeli security source, he confirmed that Israel was responsible. He used a phrase that duplicates almost. So this is very serious. Maybe it's going to be war. Sensitive operation. So we have a photograph here. Ayatollah Hashem on the left. He initially survived the crash, later succumbing to his wounds, sitting next to the foreign minister, Hossein Amir Anyway, shortly before crash, noted Israeli security analyst Amir Rapaport writes in Israel's leading defense publication. The circumstances regarding their helicopter crash are reminiscent of countless assassinations of assassinations for people, known methods of the Mexican drug cartels, drug cartels, which similarly killed tens of people over the years. This raises the question: was the hand of the Mossad connected to the event, since other helicopters departed on this flight from Azerbaijan to Iran unscathed? Rappaport, of course, knows that the Mossad killed Raisi. What he has said as much above, along with comparing the Mossad to a Mexican drug cartel, he cannot be more definitive due to a military censorship directive against reporting Israel was responsible. How did Israel do it? There are no definitive answer to that question yet, but there are important elements to consider. The Iranian helicopter model was at least 60 years old, very old. It had no built-in navigation system. The pilot will have used a GDP application and an online mapping system to plot and maintaining his course. GPS app and online mapping system. So this is pretty precarious for the president of a country. Very sad. And well, I just wonder how Iran got that Adidas jersey in some World Cup. But this is a joke, of course. Adidas jersey, soccer jersey. Anyway, Rappaport, of course, knows that the Mossad killed Raisi. But yeah, GPS. Israel is known to jam Syrian electronic missile defense system when it attacks targets there. It will be quite easy for Israel to jam the helicopters' electronics, including apps and online navigation aids. This might disable the aircraft completely or provide the pilot with false or no regardings. Note that Israel has an airbase in Azerbaijan. It could easily have fired the missile from inside that country that struck the helicopter, or it could have smuggled a bomb onto the helicopter. So this article, I just paying attention on the technological details or the technological disadvantage of Iran. This is of course an enemy of the West, and it get really how to say, undeveloped, very undeveloped, like Cuba. I wonder if China cannot help Iran. They just can't sell helicopters to Iran, because by this time China, they have a lot of, I forget now, I don't remember now, they got a lot of I don't know, I don't remember, complaints against this type of, China doesn't have if China has any technology, they just cannot sell to Russia or Iran. Anyway, Iran's president's chief of staff refuses bad weather theory. Yeah, the Iranian president's chief of staff, who flew in the one of the helicopters which landed without incident, refutes the claim of bad weather as the cause of the crash. Maybe these helicopters, 60 years old, this is a lot of time. They don't have their own helicopter industry. That's the question. And well, maybe they don't have a black box because of this kind of development. No, he also says that there was only seconds between losing visual contact with the helicopter and realizing it was missing. This indicates mechanical malfunctioning is unlikely. They have a video on this. I don't remember the page. I don't remember the newspaper. I don't remember. This is from Richard Silverstein. Breaking Israel's Mossad downed the Iran president's helicopter. So what now, isn't it? What now? So there was no fog. Interviewer, there was no fog. Smiley, not at all. There was no fog. There was fog on the ground, but not up in the air where we were traveling with the helicopters. However, in one small compacted area, there was a small patch of clouds above a cliff. In terms of age, this cloud was at the same age as our flight's age. Anyway, a lot of details. It was there that the pilot of the presidential helicopter, who was also the commander of the fleet, told the rest of the pilots to ascend above the clouds. We were towed behind the president's helicopter. We rose above the clouds and advanced for approximately 30 seconds. Our pilot suddenly realized that the main helicopter carrying the president was missing. So there's a lot of... This is an interview. Interviewer: you didn't see the helicopter anymore after ascending? Ismaili is the name of the... Ismaili says, yes, exactly. After ascending above the clouds, we didn't see the main helicopter. The ascent itself didn't feel difficult or hard. Sometimes when we use the plane, we feel turbulence, but we didn't feel anything at all inside the helicopter this time when ascending. And after we ascended, there were no other clouds. Interviewer: so beyond this, there were no weather forecasts mentioning any disturbances in the weather to make it unsafe. Ismaili: no, there wasn't any. Shortly after, we were able to see beneath us, and there were no clouds anymore. We realized, however, that our pilot was making a U-turn. So there's a lot of... I guess I'm gonna skip this. It is interesting, but it's too specific, and I just... I have a Pepe Escobar own article to see what's going on. I'm gonna jump to the next one. So here we have the Pepe's article. Maybe there are two articles, but I'm not sure. So looks like there's World War III is on the menu. Is on the verge. But right here in this article, there's no headline. So, Pepe Escobar article: Raisi led the charge for Russia, Iran, China's New World Order. And says, Iran President Ebrahim Raisi's eastward vision was instrumental in advancing the strategic Moscow-Tehran-Beijing nexus and bulldozing a path toward institutionalizing multipolarity. Pepe Escobar on May 22, two days ago. And that's it. I guess this is the same article as the Brie article. A photo from the cradle. Amidst all the sadness and grief over the loss of Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi, let's take a moment to showcase the critical path he helped forget towards a new global order. So let's see how important it was Raisi. In the nearly 3 years since Raisi ascended to the Iranian presidency, Eurasian integration and the drive toward multipolarity have become fundamentally conducted by three major actors: Russia, China, and Iran, which by no accident are the three top existential threats to the hegemonic power. At 10 p.m. this past Sunday in Moscow, Russia President Vladimir Putin invited Iran's ambassador to Moscow, Qasem Shalali, to be at the table in an impromptu meeting with the cream of the crop of Russia's defense team. That invitation reached far beyond the myopic media conjecture over whether the Iranian president's ultimately death was due to an accidental crash or an act of sabotage. It came from the fruits of Raisi's tireless labor to position Iran as an east-facing nation, boldly forging strategic alliances with Asia's major powers while sweetening Tehran's relations with the past regional foes. Increasing the regional integration. Back to that Sunday night table in Moscow. Everyone was there, from Defense Minister Andrei Belosov and Secretary of the Security Council Sergei Shoigu to Chief of the General Staff Valery Gerasimov, Emergencies Minister Alexander Kurenkov, and Special Assistant to the President Igor Levitin. The key message portrayed was that Moscow has Tehran's back, and Russia completely supports the stability and continuity of government in Iran, which is already fully guaranteed by Iran's constitution and its detailed contingencies for a peaceful transition of power under even unusual circumstances. As we are now deep into total hybrid war mode, bordering on hot across most of the planet, the three civilization states shaping a new system of international relations could not be more obvious. You know, I guess stick on the details of the previous news. Why China doesn't produce helicopters, you know? I guess they will get a lot of sanctions from the West, you know, if they produce helicopters and sell helicopters to a country like Iran. I guess Iran not even is able to buy Turkey drones, I'm not sure. Anyway, here we go. Russia, Iran, China, RAC are already interlinked via bilateral comprehensive strategic partnerships. They are members of both BRICS and the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. SCO, and their modus operandi was fully unveiled for the whole global majority to examine at Putin's summit with Chinese President Xi Jinping in Beijing last week. In short, none of the three Asian powers will allow to the other partners to be stabilized by the usual suspects. A stellar record. Late President Raisi and his top diplomat, Foreign Minister Hossein Amir Abdollahian, leave a stellar legacy. Under their leadership, Iran became a member of BRICS, a full member of SCO, and a major stakeholder in the Eurasia Economic Union, EAUE. No, it's EAEU. These are the three key multilateral organizations shaping the road to multipolarity. Iran's new diplomatic drive reached key Arab and African players from Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and Egypt to Libya, South Sudan, and Djibouti. Tehran, for the first time, conducted a sophisticated, large-scale military operation against Israel, firing a barrage of drones and missiles from Iranian territory. Iran-Russian relations reached the next level in trade and military political cooperation. 2 years ago, Putin and Raisi agreed on a comprehensive bilateral treaty. The draft of the core document is now ready and will be signed by Iran's next president, expanding the partnership even further. As a member of Iranian delegation told me last year in Moscow, when the Russians were asked that what could be on the table, they replied, "You can ask us anything," and vice versa. So all interlocked declinations of Raisi's look east strategic shift coupled with Russia's earlier pivot to Asia are being addressed by Moscow and Tehran. The Council of Foreign Ministers of the CSCO is meeting this Tuesday and Wednesday in Astana, preparing for the summit in July, when Belarus will become a full member. Crucially, Saudi Arabia's cabinet has also approved the decision for Riyadh to join possibly next year. So I guess this news has nothing to do with the... I'm not sure about this. I don't remember when exactly Raisi died. I'm not paying much attention. I guess Raisi was not dead by this time. Raisi led the charge for Russia, Iran, China's New World Order. Iran's continuity of government will be fully represented in Astana via interim foreign minister Ali Bagheri Kani, who was Amir Abdollahian's number 2. He's bound to immediately enter the fray alongside Russia's foreign minister Sergei Lavrov and Chinese counterpart Wang Yi to discuss the multi-layered multipolar path. Hypersonic joint statement. I guess everybody can. I guess I'm not sure if I'm the only one, but the most logic thing is to think what's going to happen. Will Iran make a move? Will Iran make war, even more war? Who knows? An hypersonic joint statement, the overreaching charter of what a new system entails, was revealed last week at the landmark putting his summit via a stunning 10-chapter joint statement over 12,000 words long, with cooperation appearing no less than 130 times. This document can correctly be interpreted as a joint hypersonic manifesto, comprehensively blowing up Washington's artificial rules-based international order. This section particularly stands out. All countries have this is a quotation from the rules-based international order. All countries have the right to independently choose their development models and political, economic, and social systems based on their national conditions and people's will. Oppose interference in the internal affairs of sovereign countries. Oppose unilateral sanctions and long-arm jurisdiction without international law basis on UN Security Council authorization, and oppose drawing ideological lines. Both sides pointed out that neocolonialism and hegemonism are completely contrary to the trend of the times and call for equal dialogue, the development of partnerships, and the promotion of exchanges and mutual learning among civilizations. Iran, sanctioned to death for over 4 decades, is now learning directly from China and Russia about their efforts to destroy decoupling narratives, as well as the effect of a tsunami of Western sanctions on Russia. For example, an array of China-Europe train corridors is now mostly used to ship Chinese goods to Central Asia and re-export them to Russia. But I guess they don't have helicopters, isn't it? I'm not sure if China can produce helicopters. Amidst this trade boom, logistical bottlenecks also increase. Visually, every European port refuses to handle any shipments from or to Russia. And Russia's largest ports continue to have problems. Vladivostok does not have capacity to large cargo ships, while St. Petersburg is very far from China. Well, this article is I'm not saying it's so bad, but it's too big. I guess I'm gonna read it. I guess I'm gonna skip to the headlines to another. So chapter 3 of the Russia-China Joint Declaration places particular emphasis on port and transportation cooperation, including developing more logistic routes and deepening financial cooperation, including via increasing the shape of local currency in financial services, and increasing industrial cooperation, including in strategic areas such as car and boat manufacturing, metals smelting, and chemicals. All that applies to Russia-Iran cooperation too. For instance, in streamlining the international North-South transportation corridor, INSTC, especially from Astrakhan in the Caspian or Iranian ports, and then via roads down the Persian Gulf. Iranian Foreign Minister Bagheri Kani had previously remarked that thanks to Iran's exceptional geopolitical location, reaching West Asia, the Persian Gulf, the Caspian Sea, region and wider Asia, Iran can contribute to the economic growth and economic potential of all regional players. Putin's visit to China last week included a visit to the northeastern powerhouse Arbil, which has strong geographical historical links to Russia. A giant China-Russia Expo attracted over 5,000 commercial firms. It's not far-fetched. This is an interesting word. I don't know what it means, but far-fetched. It's not far-fetched to imagine an equally successful Russia-Iran Expo at the Caspian port. Look, I'm gonna show you this word, far-fetched. Do you saw far-fetched? I don't know what it means, but I'm gonna search down. So I'm gonna leave this article here because and then says Promethean project. Well, you know, I want to know about the war. That's what people want to know. It will be third World War. When people will start to kill each other. Promethean project is Prometeo was a myth, I guess. New direction. The angel of history, though, is pointing in a new direction to China, Russia, and Iran as the natural sovereigns shaping the re-emergence of the heartland. Yeah, but by now, I don't know what's going to happen. You know, I guess the West is trying to stop all this with war, isn't it? So let's jump to another news. Right now, I'm just gonna read some headlines. May 24, home Russia and former Soviet Union. Western weapons already strengthening Russian territory, Lavrov. Kiev has been using foreign supplied arms to attack civilians' infrastructure, Moscow's foreign minister says. The West is already at war with Russia, and the weaponry it supplies to Ukraine is being actively used to strike deep inside the country, Russia's foreign minister Sergei Lavrov told reporters on Friday. So just the headlines now. May 24, Home World News. West prolonging Ukraine's suffering, ex-NATO top official. Kiev's backers are not even trying to limit damage to the country as they continue sending arms, Harald Kujat has said. As usual, I have too much news, have no time to read. May 24, Home World News 2024. US Senate preparing sanctions on ICC employees Fox. A bipartisan group of lawmakers have reportedly accused the court of abuse of power and of threatening American interests. I had no idea. Fox? I didn't understood. So sometimes Russia Today says something about American politics. May 24 again, Home Africa. Russia deepens geological research ties with African state. A cooperation agreement has been signed between the National Museum of Geology of Mozambique and the Karpinski Institute. What else? Just the headlines, yeah. Home Russia and former Soviet Union. This is from yesterday, May 23. Georgia does not want to become second UK Prime Minister. Yeah, what happened in Georgia? Irakli Kobakidze says his country needs protection from external forces. From external forces that want to launch a Georgian Maidan. So probably it will happen. I'm just gonna skip to the headlines. So Maidan, some people want a second front against Russia. We don't want a second front. And well, the bus is moving, so just gonna show you the landscape. Putin's this is a news from yesterday to May 23. Home Russia and former Soviet Union. Putin lays groundwork for confiscation of U.S. assets. This news is interesting to me. Maybe because I'm Jew. I'm Jew, but I pay much attention to economy. You know, a roadmap has been prepared in anticipation of possible misappropriation of Russian state funds by Washington. But I'm not gonna read this. Just the first paragraph. Moscow could move to seize property owned by US-linked entities and citizens in Russia should Washington attempt to confiscate Russian assets being held abroad, according to a decree signed by President Vladimir Putin on Thursday. This is interesting. The US and its allies are presently devising ways to use funds generated by some 300 billion in Russian sovereign assets frozen in the West to help Ukraine's war effort against Moscow. But I guess Russia was doing the same. The document released by the Kremlin outlines a future mechanism that will allow any damages caused by the US to be offset by property owned by the US itself or associated entities. The Russian government and central bank will be empowered to seek redress for such losses throughout the Russian court. Anyway, this is gonna read the CGTN. This is gonna read the CGTN headlines, and not gonna do yoga this time. No place for yoga. In Chinese modernization, China doubled efforts to further deepen reform on all fronts. This kind of news I like from CGTN. They are always talking about China modernization. Politics, May 24, CGTN. We have a photograph of some Chinese port. And anyway, bill after China's reform and opening up, Rizal Port in East China's Shandong province is a vital global hub for the transshipment of energy and bulk new materials. I always got this advertisement on social media. They are trying to sell breweries to make beer, and it's always from this province, Shandong. If I win lottery, maybe I will buy a brewery to make my own beer. Who knows? A better life for the people. This the same article. Another article. PLA continues join military drills surrounding Taiwan Island. May 24. Russian spy chief says Ukraine directly involved in Moscow concert hall attack. This been some time ago. All this is from CGTN. They are really partners, looks like. China achieves world's first gene-edited pig liver xenotransplantation. This is interesting because it's kind of liver transplantation is news about health. So, maybe I'm gonna read this later. Pig organ transplants. Xenotransplant in China and ethical use, but I guess it's fine, you know, it's good. Emergency response team sent to PNG's landslide impacted region, media. Well, and then we have a lot of news from Al Jazeera too, but we are for developing a marine ecological restoration pivotal. This article called like this. The more DPP provokes, the earlier its doomsday arrives. May 23. I didn't got that. Oh, they're talking about Taiwan. Global Trade and Investment Promotion Summit 2024 calls for economic recovery and collaboration. This is very old, from May 13. And we have a conspiratory article from this I guess is from Al Jazeera. Look, news. Israel-Palestine conflict. What's behind Norway's recognition of Palestinian statehood? Iran army finds no signs of foul play so far in Raisi helicopter crash. Al Jazeera. This news I get is super interesting. Look, healthcare in Syria is at the risk of collapse. I guess the news is there are healthcare in Syria and there's no in the United States. What about that? TikTok curbs state-affiliated media amid foreign influence and fears. Something happens with Nvidia. I didn't know what it is. Nvidia's profits soars as AI boom shows no signs of slowing down, but something else happened. Oh, I couldn't catch when I get down from the bus, but that's it. That was all.